Assalamu alaikum. This is Btv Chattogram welcoming you to the English news from Btv Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. July Martyrs Day today. Nation respectfully remembers Abu Sayyid, Washim Akram and other July martyrs. Government wants to move towards prosperity with people imbued with the July spirit, says Liberation War Affairs Minister. Government not to accept situation compromising quality of education, says Home Minister. Post-flood dengue surge feared in Chattogram. Physicians urge immediate test for all fever patients. Chattogram Raater draws thousands. Devotees call for a unity-driven, non-communal nation. United Nations fears 500 Rohingya dead after boat capsizes at coast of Myanmar. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. July Martyrs Day is being observed today in the country. On this day in 2024, during the student movement demanding quota reform, Begum Roka University student Abu Sayyid was killed in police firing in Rangpur. The deaths of Abu Sayyid in Rohingya and Rangpur and Washim in Chattogram, along with several other young protesters on 16th July, sparked nationwide outrage. Footage of Abu Sayyid's death spread rapidly across the country, giving the quota reform movement a new momentum. As more students were killed in different parts of the country that day, grief and anger spread across Bangladesh. The movement grew stronger with each death. The protest soon expanded beyond the demand for quota reform, turning into a broader movement seeking justice, accountability, citizens' rights, and a better future for the country. Parents, teachers, professionals, and people from all walks of expressed solidarity with students and the protests. The quota reform movement gradually grew into one of the biggest mass uprisings in Bangladesh's history, driven by anger over killings and repression. It later focused on a single demand, the resignation of the government. The protest reached their climax on 5th August, when the long-ruling government fell amid the mass uprising. Sheikh Hasina left the country, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Bangladesh's political history. The student movement that began in July 2024 demanding reforms to the government quota system quickly spread across the country. Attempts to suppress the protest through crackdowns, attacks, and violence by forces loyal to the then government of fascist Sheikh Hasina sparked widespread public anger. Amid growing calls for change, Washim Akram, a fourth-year English department student at Chattogram College and an active participant in the movement, stood at the forefront of the protest. Born in 1998 in Cox's Bazar, Washim was shot during the protest in the Muradpur area of Chattogram on 16th July 2024. He is remembered by many of the first as person from Chattogram to be killed during the July mass uprising. Although he was only 24 years old, Washim had ambitious dreams for the future. He was studying English literature at Chattogram College and was known among his classmates as an energetic, humble young man who was willing to speak out against injustice. His family says it is still difficult to accept that he will never return home. As each year passes, they continue to live with the reality of their loss. Every July, memories of those days resurface. The sacrifices made during the uprising are viewed not only as part of the country's political history, but also as events that future generations may study, preserve, and evaluate. Liberation War Affairs Minister Ahmed Azam Khan has said the government aims to lead the country toward greater prosperity by embracing the spirit of July and working together with the people. He made the remarks today after placing a wreath at a temporary memorial altar dedicated to the July martyrs erected at the Raater Martyred Intellectuals Memorial Cemetery in the capital to mark July Martyrs Day 2026. Among others, Secretary of the Ministry of Liberation War Affairs Muhammad Ashraful Islam, Dhaka Divisional Commissioner Muhammad Munir Zaman Mia, Director General of the July Mass Uprising Directorate Anwarul Nasir, Dhaka Deputy Commissioner Farida Khanum, the Superintendent of Police, and representatives of the Bangladesh Naval Police, all of whom paid tribute to the martyrs of placing floral wreath. Later, a dua and munajat was offered seeking eternal peace for the souls of all those who were martyred during the July uprising. State Minister for Lands and Chittagong Hill Tracts Affairs Barrister Mir Muhammad Helaluddin said the sacrifice of the martyrs of the July uprising will be remembered forever in the history of the nation. The State Minister remarks this at a discussion meeting in the afternoon on the occasion of July Martyrs Day. State Minister for Liberation War Affairs Ishraq Hussain presided over the meeting, among others membering the Parliament Abu Sufyan, Syed Al-Noman, and Human Qadir Chaudhary, and Jatiyotabadi Chhatra Dal's Central General Secretary Nasiruddin Nasir also addressed the occasion. At the event, the State Minister for Liberation War Affairs said that the sacrifice of the martyrs in the July uprising will inspire the new generation to build a democratic and just state. The speakers at the event called for building a democratic and discrimination-free country by adopting the ideals of the July martyrs. Later, State Minister for Liberation War Affairs Ishraq Hussain laid the foundation stone of the memorial in memory of Washim Akram, the first martyr of Chattogram in the July mass uprising, at the city's Sholoshaho railway station premises. At the time, he said that all those who ordered and followed the orders of July massacre will be brought to justice. The historic July Martyrs Day was observed across the port city of Chattogram with solemnity as citizens gathered to honor those who sacrificed their lives during the July uprising. City Mayor Dr. Shahadat Hussain paid tribute, placing wreath at the July Memorial Monument on the Chattogram railway station premises. City Corporation officials were present at that time. The mayor said the memorial monument of the July Martyrs of Chattogram, along with the places associated with the July uprising, will be preserved with due importance. Rehabilitation activities are continuing for the families of the martyrs and injured in the July uprising, he added. The mayor emphasized the supreme sacrifices made during the movement against fascist misrule successfully birthed a new Bangladesh. Home Minister Salah bin Ahmed has said that the government will not accept any situation that undermines the quality of education in the country. He made the remarks today while speaking to journalists at the Secretariat on various current issues. Referring to the ongoing student protest centering the HSC examinations, the minister said that during the previous interim government's tenure, practices such as postponing public examinations and allowing students to pass without sitting for exams had created what he described as an unhealthy culture. He expressed the government's determination to move away from those practices, saying that no activity that compromises educational standards would be considered acceptable. The minister stayed and added that the current government is committed to improving the quality of education. He said efforts will continue to ensure a cheating-free examination environment as part of building a well-educated and capable nation. On a separate issue regarding the repatriation of suspects arrested in India in connection with the murder case of July uprising martyr Hadi, the Home Minister said that the process of bringing them back to Bangladesh is underway under the prisoner exchange agreement between the two countries. The Bangladesh Army has launched its Tree Plantation Campaign 2026 with the goal of protecting the environment and building a greener Bangladesh. The program was inaugurated in Chief of Army Staff General Waqar Zaman under the theme, Let's Beautify the Country Through Tree Plantation, Bangladesh First. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, the Army Chief highlighted the importance of large-scale tree plantation in addressing the adverse impacts of climate change. He called upon people from all walks of life to actively participate in the initiatives to make the country green. Under this campaign, the Bangladesh Army plans to plant more than 11,35,000 trees in various cantonments and regions across the country. General Wakar said the initiative would help maintain ecological balance, conserve biodiversity, and contribute to building a greener and more livable Bangladesh for future generations. State Minister for Land and Chittagong Hill Tracts Affairs Barrister Mir Muhammad Halaluddin said the government elected by the people is 100% responsible to the people. The government is determined to implement the necessary development activities in every upazila of the country from a place of responsibility. He said these while exchanging views with journalists after visiting the flood-affected and river erosion areas in Baghachuri and Longagu Upazila of Rangamati yesterday. He distributed relief materials among the flood-hit people in these upazilas. The state minister announced the repair of flood-affected roads, reconstruction of culverts, and construction of shelter centers in the Barubindu Khat area of Baghaichuri Upazila. Regarding the overall development of the hilly regions, he said that the government is working relentlessly to make the Chittagong Hill Tracts prosperous. Balanced development will be ensured in every Upazila of the region. District BNP President Deepan Talukdar Deepu, General Secretary Advocate Mamunur Rashid Mamun, local administration officials and BNP leaders were present on the occasion. Physicians have expressed concern that the outbreak of dengue will increase after the rains recede. The outbreak of dengue has started as waterborne diseases have also increased due to floods and rains in July. About 40 dengue patients have been admitted to Chattogram Medical College Hospital till date, physicians said. Patients with fever should be careful during the monsoon season. The living environment of people should be kept clean to prevent the spread of Aedes and Aedes mosquitoes. At the same time, one should also be careful about waterborne diseases during the monsoon season. Amid the increase in dengue patients in Chattogram, the Chattogram Civil Surgeon's Office said that more than 100 patients have been infected with waterborne diarrhea in the district due to floods till July 13th. However, physicians are concerned that the outbreak of dengue will increase due to recent prolonged heavy rains. Physicians are giving much importance to community awareness to prevent dengue and reduce the outbreak. The Shongatun Hindu community celebrated Raater festival with great enthusiasm and religious fervor in the port city of Chattogram today. A large number of men and women of Shongatun community participated in three main Raater Jatras in the city with a call to build a non-communal Bangladesh. The Raater Jatras were organized by the city's Nandan Kanon Tulshidham, Nandan Kanon Radha Madhub Temple, and Probortok Sri Krishna Temple. Speakers at the discussion meeting on this occasion said that the Raater Jatra of the Shongatun community has now created harmony among people of all communities in the country. Now, international news. The UN's International Organization for Migration, IOM, and its refugee agency, UNHCR, reports that two boats carrying more than 500 people are feared to have capsized off the coast of Myanmar in recent days. The report says a first boat carrying 250 people lost contact shortly after heading out to sea. Another carrying 280 people is believed to have capsized off Myanmar's airworthy coast on July 8th. Preliminary information indicated that the two vessels in question departed from war-torn Myanmar's Rakhine state in late June, with mainly members of the country's mostly Muslim Rohingya minority on board. Rohingya undertake perilous sea journeys year after year in search of better living conditions, traveling abroad, rickety boats often operated by trafficking networks. The United States stepped up its military campaign against Iran early Thursday, carrying out strikes deeper into northern parts of the country while also disabling a vessel it accused of attempting to reach its naval blockade. Iranian state media reported that U.S. strikes early Thursday targeted areas around Tehran as well as Semnan province, home to Iran's ballistic missile production facilities and space program. U.S. Central Command CENTCOM said it struck several military sites and assets in a bid to further degrade Iran's ability to threaten innocent Marines. In the Strait of Hormuz, the unit also said it disabled an oil tanker in the waterway. Iranian officials said at least 35 people have died and more than 300 have been wounded in Iran in the latest wave of attacks that began late Wednesday. Iran has claimed retaliatory missile and drone attacks on U.S. military facilities in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. Meanwhile, Iranian army spokesman Mohammad Akramina has said and warned attacks will spread to new areas in the United States, continues its strikes. Spokesperson for Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters, Brigadier General Ibrahim Zolfaghari, also threatened to respond to any U.S. attacks on Iranian infrastructure with strikes on regional infrastructure. In a statement carried by the Iranian state media, he also said that Iran will not allow U.S. interference in the Strait of Hormuz. A former Iranian foreign minister and advisor to the supreme leader Ali Akbar Vilayati has said and told Iran's state TV that the Strait of Hormuz belongs to Iran. He said no power in the world can take the Strait of Hormuz from Iran's ownership. On the other hand, Iranian parliament speaker and chief negotiator Mohammad Bagher al-Ghalibaf has said Tehran was ready for a broader military confrontation if the U.S. failed to honor the terms of the interim government. Iran's Parliamentary Revolutionary Guard also warned it could stop all energy exports from the Middle East in response to the blockade.